Panther Nation, what's good? Welcome back to Two Fans in the Stands. I am your favorite armchair GM CJ.
Y'all know what it is. I'm your favorite couch scout extraordinaire, Tony. Come on one time, cuz. What's popping? What's good with you?
Hey, let me tell you, it was almost nothing popping today, man. When I say I've had technical difficulties out the wazoo this morning, then and first of all, shout out to What's Up Doug because he sent me a message. He actually called me and told me that the stream was set up for like 4 o'clock in the morning, and yeah,
Oh,
I was
wow.
asleep. Yeah, so somehow I messed up with the stream and said that for us to go live at 4 in the morning, and then I went to change the stream destinations and ended up deleting our entire session. I deleted all the entire
Wow.
session, all the scenes, everything that I had put together, and I've been sitting here for the last 20 minutes trying to get that all back together. And yeah, so here we are. Here we are, here we are, here we are. So now that we're live, I'm good. I'm happy again. I was pissed off as hell about, for about the last 15 minutes, but I'm good now. So Tony, how you doing, cuz?
Man, I can't call it, just chilling. A little tired. Had an eventful day, come home, wife put me to work, you know. So, yeah, just a little tired. Just a little tired, but I'm good. How about yourself, man?
Hey, I'm straight now. I'm good to go now. Look, we had to get on here today, quick live because I got a birthday party to get to here in a little bit. Shout out to my little cousin Noah. He turns 5 today, so hopefully my
Yeah.
foot's feeling better. I get out there and chase him around my aunt's yard for a little bit. I think they're gonna have a bouncy house and pool and some stuff, so we're gonna go out there and have a good time, man. But hey, as always, if you're new to the channel and you're here with us, thank you, welcome. Okay. Also, as always, please hit that like button. Help us out with the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to the channel. You can check us out on all social media down here at Two Fans in the Stands, and right over here at what we like to call Twix. That's a mixture of Twitter and X. You can find us at Two Fans ITS. All right,
Yes,
and
sir.
let me do how I usually do here, and let's go ahead and get into some comments. All right,
Okay.
Marco Cash, what's going on, big dog? How you
What's
doing?
going on, Marco?
He said, "What's good, Panther Nation?" Tony O, Tony, I'm clean hand. What's good, man? How you doing?
What's good,
How you
Antonio? What's
doing?
happening?
And like he said, like, subscribe, and share the stream, please. Yes, since I
Yes.
really tried to mess it up today. Yes, like, subscribe, and share for me. Yo, Uncle Quan, what's good, man? How you doing? He said my favorite
What's going
opening
on,
music.
Quan?
Hey, let me tell you, man. I'm still having a hard time. I be wanting to change that beat, and then I hear it every time. I be like, nah, I can't mess with a good thing. Yes, and like I said, yes, please excuse the technical difficulty we were having today. Nader, salute to Tony and CJ. We win NFC South. I damn sure hope so, dog.
What's
I
going
damn
on,
sure hope
Nader?
so. I
Hey,
hope so.
that would be a beautiful thing. I know that.
That would be a hey, but you know what though? What's the easiest way to get to the playoffs? Win your division. So
Yeah,
hey,
when your division. That's step
yep.
number
Let
one.
me see. Old Mike
Mike
Lowry.
Lowry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's good, man?
What's up,
How you
Mike?
doing? Yeah, Quan said the beat drop. Yes, sir. Exactly. Is yes, sir. Say it's only right to hit the Dougie when the beat drop. Man, let me tell you, I hit the Dougie, I'll be down in the dump. I'll probably break a damn arm, pop a kneecap out of place or something. So I'm just gonna do my usual two-step call
Yeah,
today.
I was just going to say the same thing. The only thing I'm hearing is that two step. That's it. No more, no
Nikari,
less.
oh, just realized Tony sound like sugar free a little bit. I don't know who
Who is
sugar
that?
free is.
Me
Mm-mm.
neither.
Let us know, Car. SC page 4, what's going on? How you doing?
What's up, SC?
MDJ,
Welcome back.
salute, brother. How you doing, man?
MDJ, what's good, man?
Oh, you might lie, say chilling. That's what's up. That's what's up. He
Yeah.
said he do. Okay, so I don't know who Sugar Free is,
Yeah,
but
me,
apparently you
I
look
have
just
no
like him,
clue.
Tony.
Look like him, sound like him, letting the car tell it. I
Hold
have
on. Yeah, he said. Hold
3 years.
on. Okay. He said it's an old Cali rapper. Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to look him up. I'm gonna have to
Mhm.
look him up. I'm gonna have to look him up. Cause let me tell you. Say, Quan said, "Who the hell is that?" Hey, look, Quan. I don't even know. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna see what's going on. All
Yeah.
right. Okay. So, like I said, go ahead and get into it real quick, y'all. All right, so I've been doing a little series each week, trying to go through the different position groups as far as the NFC South. Okay, like I always said, quickest way to get to the playoffs, win your own division. All right, so we're gonna go position group by position group and get everybody's opinions on who's better in that position group in the NFC South. And today is going to be the wide receivers and the tight ends. Okay. Now, before I
Right.
put the slides up, Tony, just give me your thoughts overall. Okay, just give me your thoughts overall on the wide receivers. Well, let's start with the wide receivers. Okay.
For the Panthers or for the NFC South?
Let's just start with the Panthers. Let's start with our wide receiver group. Just give me your thoughts overall going into this season.
Just on paper, I think they will be a good group. Just on paper, when you look at the stats from each individual player, especially our number one and our number two wide receiver, which would be Deontay Johnson and Adam Thielen. Those are two productive, very capable, high caliber type of wide receivers. And I think you will see Adam Thielen flourish a little more just by having Deontay Johnson opposite of him. So, I think that pressure that was on Adam Thielen last year won't be the same this year. Okay.
Mm,
I think Jonathan Mingo has a year up under his belt. Hopefully he's worked out those rookie jitters is what I call it, and hopefully he'll have a successful sophomore season. The jury is still out on what we're gonna get with Xavier Leggett because he's a rookie. TMJ, Dave Canales has spoken highly of him, but the
mm,
jury's still out on him as well. So I just like the fact that we went and got an ex number one wide receiver, a route runner extraordinaire, arguably the best route runner in the league. And I just think that just opens up the pass game a little more. Well, what
okay.
about you? What you think about it?
Hey, first of all, I wanted to say I apologize for this bullshit that I had down at the bottom of the screen. I spelled everything wrong in this damn banner, and I was just fixing it while you were talking. So I was rushing. I apologize, everybody. I had everything spelled wrong down here. I looked and I was like, oh my god.
No,
But
no.
yo, let me tell you one thing about our wide receiver room. I think there's competition, um, from the top to the bottom. Okay, well, let me say not necessarily from the top. All right, Deontay Johnson, I believe, and a lot of people don't believe he's our number one wide receiver, but I believe he's our number one wide receiver. Okay,
Who, Deontay
um,
Johnson?
yeah, I've heard a lot of people
Ah,
say they don't think he's a number one wide receiver, but here in Carolina, he's going to be our number one. Okay, Adam
without
Thielen.
a doubt.
What my hope is for the end of the season, Xavier will solidify that number two spot. Let Adam, work out of the slot more. All right.
Right,
Then below
right,
that, and that's where it gets kind of spicy below that. All right, you got Mingo, TMJ, Emir Smith Marset. Now whether he makes his chops more on special teams than he does as a straight up wide receiver is yet to be seen. Okay, but
right,
then you have the likes of behind that. Did I say TMJ? I'm sorry, Mingo, Emir Smith Marset, TMJ. Then you got a couple interesting undrafted free agents. You got Jalen Coker. You got Sam Pinckney. Okay, so the thing is, everybody's going to have to be on their P's and Q's because I feel like if somebody messes up and they they mess up early, it's going to be somebody that's going to be cut, and we're sitting here like, oh, like them did not see that coming. Now, mind you, some people probably won't be a surprise too much at all, but
right.
hey,
Well,
but yeah, man.
it's crazy because, like you said, a lot of people think Deontay Johnson's number two, and I even see a couple people in the comments on Quan and 333 336 Boston say kind of the same thing. But when I read that and I see it, I'm like, what has Deontay Johnson to show? What has he shown you that he can't be a number one? He was a number
Mm-hmm.
one wide receiver in Pittsburgh. So why couldn't he be a number one wide receiver in Carolina? Like, who do we have on the roster that has the resume that you can come on and hit your wagon to and say, okay, you're our number one wide receiver come, week one. There's nobody else on the team that you could give that to. Now, what you said now, the possibility of wanting Xavier Leggett to reach that potential one day, that's one day. That's true. That's something that can happen down the road. But right now, as it stands, there's nobody on the roster that can take the number one spot from Deontay Johnson right now. There's no one on the team that
Okay.
got hands like him, that runs route like him, that can get open like him. That is as dominant as he has. Nobody resume matches up to his. So I don't know how he just a number two guy. But okay.
Yeah. And Nakari was saying here said people outside the Panthers are not high on Deontay being number one like we are. I heard this from some Panther fans. You know,
Yeah.
I heard this from some Panther fans, so I think it's outside Panther Nation and some of our own fan base. But we'll see. But I think there
Yeah.
ain't gonna be no question going into the season. He's gonna be our number one, and I'm pretty. And
Yeah.
what was the? It was a clip where he was talking to Idzik, I believe it was, and he told him he was like, yeah, you're our number one. So, but yeah,
Right. Right.
you know,
Yeah, and I see Boston. He's tier two. Like he could be
mm,
tier two, but tier two doesn't mean he's not a number one wide receiver. There's only a handful of receivers that you would consider like tier one, and then the next level down is tier two. Just because you're tier
mm,
two doesn't mean you can't be a number one wide receiver on the team with the worst record in the NFL. Like,
yeah,
so
mm,
somebody got to be the dominant number one wide receiver. And last year,
yeah,
nobody really felt like or really thought that Adam Thielen was going to be the number one wide receiver. Everybody, a lot, well, I ain't gonna say everybody. A lot of people felt like DJ Chark was going to be the number one receiver last year. We see how that turned
yeah,
out,
and
right?
me, that, hey,
Yeah.
that, we had a whole episode about that, and I was like, I think for the end of the season, DJ Chark gonna be number one wide receiver, and hey, damn it, he's in LA now, so
Mm,
he's not even
yep.
here.
Yeah.
Let me
Well,
see.
hey, if it plays out, God willing, if it all plays out, Xavier Leggett just busts on the scene and becomes a
Hmm.
dominant number one, and you can Deontay Johnson number two. That is probably the greatest problem that the Panthers can have to start the season. Like that, that is definitely a plus 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 for us. But
Hmm.
to assume that that's going to happen. Nah, not right off the gate. I'm not saying that he
Okay.
can't be later on, but right off the gate,
Hmm.
nah.
Hey,
Deontay gonna be our
look,
number one.
look in the car and say, I don't take Panther fans seriously though. We're not united on anything. Not Bryce. They wanted Da and Kyle Allen to start over Cam. Some people believe Eddie is a good kicker. We just agree on nothing. Hey, I was waiting for that first Eddie comment. Appreciate you, the car. I knew it was coming, dog. I knew it was coming. I was waiting on that Eddie
Hey,
comment.
and the car Eddie gonna make the Pro Bowl this year.
Ooh, boy, don't. Hey. Okay, let me
Fast
see. Oh,
Eddie.
Mike Lowry. Deontay gets good separation, and we need that badly. Plus, good hand. He's not for sure one, but he can be. Okay. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Let me see. Unquan. See, he hasn't had a 100-yard game since 2021. That's just one of my reasons. I believe he's a solid number two on any other solid team. But of course, our roster doesn't have number one talent, so that makes DJ number one with us. Okay. All right. All right.
That's what we're talking about though, Quan. Though I mean, I can
Yeah.
see what you're saying about if he was on some other team, but we just talking about him being on the Panthers. And like
Mm,
we said, as the roster currently sits right now, he's the number one guy for us. Now,
yeah.
what would he would be for somebody else? I have no clue.
Yeah. Romance said at Peso, Bryce has to throw that deep ball though. You know what though?
Hmm.
Now there's a lot of talk about Bryce's arm. Now we did a highlight clip from his pro day, last year before the draft.
Right.
Okay, so Bryce's bad form and all, he did launch a ball 50 yards down the field. Now, mind you, pro day. I know it's just his pro day. Okay, he did launch a ball about 50 yards down the field to a receiver. All right. So me personally, I don't think the arm strength is an issue. Now, mind you, if somebody is running, shit, 70 yards down the field. Say they at the 10-yard line and somebody done made it down the field, to the other team's 20. Yeah, nah, he
Hmm.
ain't gonna launch down that damn far. But there were a few instances, where Bryce did overthrow some people. Okay. But
Yeah.
I don't think his arm strength is going to be something that's going to limit him as much as people think. I think a lot of people are just using that as a talking point, to kind of pass the time by until we get training camp, when we get some more shit to talk about. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's always going to be Bryce on this. Bryce can't do this. Bryce can't do that. Bryce can't do the other. So
Hmm.
so hopefully that's why we're here. We're talking about the whole team, as a whole. But yes, but Bryce does have to
Right.
step up. And I will agree with that. I really
Yeah. No.
agree
No.
with
No
that.
doubt about that. He does have to step up.
hmm Hold on, I saw another Eddie comment. Hold on, Eddie will make the Pro Bowl on another team.
Somebody said Eddie will make the Pro Bowl in the Canadian Football League.
Ah, said we definitely getting rid of Eddie. They brought in a third kicker. Oh, hold on, we brought in another one. Oh,
Yeah, I
oh,
didn't see
okay.
that. I didn't see that.
Oh,
I'm gonna check that out.
Panther Dog. Woo, woo. What's up, man? Hey, I'm
Panther Dog, what's happening, my guy?
how you doing, buddy? It was funny. Panther Dog gave us the pause in the last live, but I promise I can't remember what it was for. I looked in the chat and I saw the yellow flag, pause, everything, and I was like, damn. So I can't remember what that was. Appreciate you, Panther Dog, man. Let me see. We look at stats too much and not film enough. You know what? I will agree with that with you. I will agree with you
Facts.
on that one, Nicole. You see, oh
Facts.
Mike Bryce has a nice deep ball, and you know what? And I think that with the renewed emphasis on his footwork and on his technique, like I said, I don't think that will be that much of an issue this year. Okay, especially if they can give him time in the pocket. And a lot of people say he holds on to the ball. It's all this and all that, but it's a combination. If Bryce doesn't have anybody to throw to, and he has a whole pocket that's collapsing around him, where's the man supposed to go? Okay,
Right.
you got players out there, they get open, and everybody's like, oh well, he's had more time than a lot of people in the pocket to throw the ball. But the thing is, if ain't nobody open, where's he gonna throw the ball to, y'all? And like I said, I don't want to get on the Bryce tangent. I do got something I want to say about Bryce, but we're gonna hold that for later on. Okay. Eddie will make the Pro Bowl in the Canadian Football League.
Yeah.
Oh,
SC wow for that one.
so he has to do it in games. Though. Yes, you are correct, Roadmaster. Yes, he has to do it in games. I agree. I totally agree.
Who you talking about?
Bryce, when I was saying about throwing
Oh.
a deep ball in
Oh,
pro day
okay.
in Alabama's pro day, he is absolutely correct. He has to do it in the game. MDJ said, I feel like when people say number one wide receiver, they think a Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb. Those guys are elite ones. Deontay Johnson isn't that, but he is a one option receiver. Yes. You know what? He's our number one. Let me put it like that.
Yeah.
Okay. He right now, he's our number one. I think they brought him in with the intent to be our number one wide receiver. And
What
just like
what
MDJ said, if you put him on another team, he may not be. So go ahead, Tony.
what is this what is this Road Master talking about?
Hold on, I'm behind in the comments here. I'm trying to
Oh,
talk and
go
scroll down
ahead.
the same thing.
Go
Hold on, let me
ahead.
see. That throw he had versus the Bears is one of his best deep throws of the season. I agree. Deep throw accuracy is Bryce's weakness, not his arm strength. Okay. See,
I
Bryce can
think it's
throw.
both.
Yeah, Bryce can throw the deep
Yeah.
ball. Just got to give him time in the pocket. No way he got this
Yeah.
far and can't throw the deep ball. Just
Facts.
throw it and let your wide receivers go get it. hmm the overthrow is overcompensation for the lack of strength, which is what creates deep ball accuracy. Okay. Let me see. We've been watching film all off season on every platform actually. Okay, gotcha. 336. They got all the excuses for Bryce over here. Now we ain't trying to make no excuses for Bryce. We ain't trying to make no excuses for Bryce. Okay, and that's one thing I want to say. We're not trying to make excuses for Bryce. All right, we're trying to say is if things get to a point where the offense is running smooth, we think he'll have a better season. Okay, there was a lot of factors that contributed to Bryce's season, but everybody seems to think that Bryce is out there playing by himself. Okay, he's blocking, he's
Yeah.
catching, he's punting, he's playing defense, he's getting drinks. And I always make jokes about this when I say this like this. He's parking cars, he's doing concessions, he's checking tickets. When everybody think about the Panthers this past season, it was Bryce Young. Bryce Young was doing everything. He was the reason why the defense couldn't stop nobody. Okay, the opposing
Right.
running back goes out there and runs for 30 yards, and the Panthers offense hasn't hit the field yet. Okay, it's just Bryce's fault. That's the type of crap that gets me over here. Okay, it's not that we're
Right.
trying to defend Bryce Young. Okay, well, no, we are trying to defend him some. Let me not say that we are trying to defend him some, but we're not saying that he is without any blame. Okay, we're not saying he's without any
Yeah.
blame. We've said it plenty of times over here. If he
I,
comes out and has another dud of a season and everything else around him changes and he has the time, he's not sacked 62 times. You go back and look at the film, his receivers are wide open all the damn time. They're running the ball and it's just him. Then it's what it is. It's,
yeah.
it's
I,
what it is.
I think we've stated on how we felt about Bryce time and time and time again on this channel. I'm not even with that. No more energy. Like that season's done with. It's over with. Everybody know Bryce had a shitty season, didn't play up to expectations. All right, now here come year two. Let's move on.
There you go. Hey, Romax said every wide receiver in the NFL is open if they one on one. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Mm, all right. That's interesting. Every wide receiver is open if they one on one. Okay. I think there's a few defensive backs in the league that might disagree with you on that one. Said Armstrong has never been a question for me. However, in his rookie year, his deep ball accuracy was definitely an issue. Gotcha.
That's true.
Yep.
That is true.
Let's see. Nick Tri-State, what's up, two fans? He said, "What's up, two
What's
fans? We
going on,
stand.
Nick?
What's going on, chat? Yes, Nick, hit that like button. Everybody, please hit that like button for me. Let me see. I swear, anytime you say something that's not negative about Bryce, these guys love to call it excuses. So y'all use that word so loosely. Hey, look, Father said, "Do it all, Bryce." Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Hey, that joker, he parking cars down Mint Street. He serving beer at the doghouse. He running back to the stadium. He getting the equipment ready. Hey, he doing it all. Let me see. If Bryce plays like he did last year, it would be time to move on. But damn, give that man a second season to prove it. Y'all cold blooded. Hey, that's what we saying. That's what we saying. Said three. Bryce was cheerleading after a pick six. Okay. Bryce has to evaluate defenses better. Lives interception with defense tricking him. Okay.
There's some
Said
truth
Bryce
to
can
that.
walk on water to some, but can't tie his shoes to others. Panther Nation from podcast to podcast. Yeah, yeah. And you know what? And hey, I respect everybody's opinion. Okay, because everybody has a right to feel however however they feel. Okay, but my thing is this. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna bash anybody for how they feel. You get what I'm saying? You got your
Hmm.
opinion, I got mine. We got ours or whatever, and we let's move on. Yeah. Let me see. Kelvin Benjamin wasn't open even off season when it was one on none. Hey, boy, the car is
Hey,
crazy. Yes, appreciate you, Doug. Hit that like button, everybody. Said Brandon LaFell made me cry with how not open he was.
hmm, like
If he
Doug
was
got
cheering
super
on
chat.
the defense. Oh, gotcha.
Nah,
Said hell nah, it depends on what DB you one on one with. Hey, I agree. I agree. Enough time to entertain trolls this episode about wide receiver time.
that
Hey, we
part.
got you.
Thank you, Nakar.
Oh man, Doug with the 1999 super chat. We appreciate you, man. He said
Appreciate
per
you,
carry.
brother.
said Pierre Carrot dance under a rain of oh, I think I'm sorry. It's the little emoji thing, but it's spelling it out on here for it. Doug, we appreciate you,
Oh,
big dog,
I
as
see it.
always, man.
Yeah, I see
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Hey,
we
Doug, I'm gonna
appreciate you,
call you
sir.
too after this live so we can tighten some things up.
All right. So honestly, I hope Bryce does have a good season. That means the Panthers are winning. Yes, 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 it does. All right. So let's go ahead and get on to my good old slides here. Okay, so I'm going to start off as always, with the Panthers. Okay, so these are our top four wide receivers. You got Deontay Johnson, Xavier Legette, Adam Thielen, and Jonathan Mingo. Okay, now my
Yes,
thoughts
sir.
on this group right here. I see a lot of potential. Okay, I see a lot of potential. Deontay Johnson, route runner, hands, catch the ball, get open. Okay, Xavier Legette, big play potential, size, speed, go up, get those 50-50 balls, great talent. Adam Thielen, your possession receiver, third down, Mr. Reliable. Okay. Jonathan Mingo, jury's still out on Jonathan Mingo, in my
Yeah,
opinion. He
yeah,
just came out. It was a little article where he said that he can run all the routes. He can run all the routes on the route tree. And I made a post and I was like, okay, we'll go out there and prove it. All right. And
right.
it was a tough rookie year for him too as well. Okay,
It
we
was.
talk about Bryce, we talk about Bryce, but we got to also put Mingo in there as well. Mingo had a tough rookie year too. So Tony, what's your thought? Well, if you got any other thoughts on our wide receivers, because I know you said something before.
No, that's it. I mean, basically, what you just said. I believe Dante Johnson is going to the season as the number one wide receiver. Adam Thielen's going to be the number two. Eventually, you hope to see Xavier Legette excel and become that dominant one, that dominant wide receiver one. But right now, he's dealing with a hamstring injury. We don't know how severe the hamstring injury is. He didn't practice towards the rest of the OTAs, but training camp is coming up, so we'll see what happens. So, in order for you to be that dominant wide receiver one, you got to be on the field. So we'll see if he can make it on the field. But
Hmm.
I just think Deontay Johnson elevates this group to the point where you can't lock on to just Adam Thielen and double team him and say, well, as long as we take Adam Thielen away, no other wide receiver gonna be able to do anything. And
Hmm.
improving the offensive line and no bringing in some help on the offensive line and improving that unit will definitely pay dividends not only in the run game but in the pass game too when it comes to protecting Bryce. So
Yeah.
I just want to see it all come together.
Okay. And 336 Boston. No, I did not smooth skip past TMJ. Okay, I'm gonna bring him up as well. And to me, I think TMJ might be the sleeper on this team this year. Okay. I'm still now, mind you. Okay, a lot of us we talk about Bryce. We're saying he got this year to prove it. All right, TMJ. I've always felt like TMJ has gotten a raw deal each of
Right.
his first three seasons. With the Panthers. Okay,
I agree.
injury. He's not really injury prone. A few injuries, coaching changes. Like when Steve Wilkes was the coach, he rarely saw the field later on in that season. But I do think TMJ does have a chance. And if Mingo doesn't step up and show out, you could see TMJ slide up into that number four spot. All right, and God forbid, if just say if XL comes out a little sluggish and take some time to get run, that might also be an opportunity for TMJ to step up. But I do think TMJ makes the team. I don't think he gets traded or anything like that. But I do think he makes the team. Um,
Right.
and like I was saying, there's going to be a lot of competition because, like I said, you got a couple undrafted free agents that do
Yes,
have
sir.
a legitimate shot. of making this team.
Right.
Everybody's been talking about Jalen Coker. They were talking about him before the draft. And, he was always like a late round pick. And everybody was like, if he doesn't get drafted, they want the Panthers to go after him. What did they do? What did they do? The Panthers went and picked him up. So
Yeah,
one thing Dave Canales always said, competition, competition. I think this is one of the most competitive wide receiver rooms that we've had in Carolina in a while, past, wide receiver 1 and 2. So,
I agree. I agree with that. Good. There's definitely going to be a battle for that wide receiver 3, 4, and possibly number 5. Because I don't think Carolina's going to keep no more than 6, maybe 7 receivers on the active roster when you consider ISM and his special teams ability, whether it's on kickoff
mm,
or punt return. The rest of these guys, XL, they say, yeah, can return kickoffs. I don't know if you're going to stick your number one wide receiver who you feel can eventually be number one.
hmm
The number one wide
I
receiver. I don't
wouldn't.
think you want to stick him back there on kickoff. So those guys in that 4, 5, and 6 slot. They're gonna have to have
hmm
they're going to have some versatility to their game, meaning they're gonna have to play some special teams in order to stick on the team and make it.
Yeah. Hey, and Doug, I did see the video with Bryce and oh God, Bryce, was it Bryce TMJ and XL working out in California, and I think they went to
Hmm.
the Angels game. They saw him out there too. But hey, let me tell you, they putting in that work, and it's all about getting those, let me see, getting that relationship with your wide receivers. Getting the timing down. Y'all get a feel for each other. What one likes to do, what the other. This is good. This isn't good. Timings. Route concepts. All that good stuff. I like to see
Right.
it. I like to see it. And there was a lot made of Adam Thielen. It was a video of him working out in Minnesota with JJ McCarthy. At first, everybody thought
Yeah.
it was Sam Darnold, but it was it was JJ McCarthy. And I
Yeah.
seen a lot of people going off the rails about that too, and I'm just like, I don't give a damn who's throwing him the
Right.
ball. Like he's working out. He's out
He
there trying
he
to get
he
better.
owns he owns the gym that he's working out in Minnesota, the state he was born in, grew up in, and went to college in. I mean,
Mm, gotcha.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Peso says LSU fan TMJ really nice with it. Just got to give him opportunity. Yep, I can
Yeah.
agree with that. Let me see. Romef said at the car, I just don't let him overdo it. Oh, and the car had a previous comment said that Excel him is just fine.
Okay.
A lot of fans can't stand TMJ. You know what? You are right. You were
Yeah.
absolutely right. A lot of
You're
them really
right.
can't. Yeah, they really can't. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
D'Angelo the legend said I think TMJ already
What's
has
up,
the number
D'Angelo?
4 spot. Hey, hey, look, I'm gonna have to start calling D'Angelo and the boys the Panther Trucker game over there. Let me tell you, boy, I go over there to Black Cat Panther podcast. Him and Goat, they be riding. They got the headsets on. Hey,
Yeah.
but shout out to y'all, man, with that Black Cat, man. We appreciate y'all.
Hey, I remember those days hauling that frac sand into the oil fields. Those were the days, boy. Yes, sir.
Let me see. We might go with 7, 8 wide receivers. I don't think so. I don't think so because
Mm.
that's going to take away spot from another position. Okay, and
Yeah.
let me tell you. I think once we get to the tight end position, hey, I know we usually keep 4. I'm all in favor of keeping 3. And then
Yeah.
we'll make that position up somewhere else. All right.
Yes, sir.
Let me see. 4 wide receiver spot is up in the air. Hold on. Let me see. Since DJ. And Anderson. Gotcha. So
But
100% agree. Our wide receiver room hasn't been this deep ever. Yeah. Oh, hold on. Hey, Tip Drill Will. Appreciate you,
Tip
big dog.
Drill Will.
It
What's
said,
happening,
can't wait to
Kevin?
see y'all at training camp. Hey, man, I can't wait to be there, big dog. I
Hey,
can't wait to be there.
I won't be there this year, Will, but CJ will. So hopefully next year I get a chance to meet you and everything next year at training camp, but I won't make it this year.
Yeah, man. Hey, look, let me tell you, I'm gonna get me some two fan shirts printed up. Y'all find me up in the top of the bleachers up there yelling two fans. I'm yelling at the whole practice every day training camp. Hey, as always, Will, we appreciate you, big dog. Thank you, man. Thank you. But yeah, but I think this is a great problem to have, though. Okay, I think this is a great
Yeah,
problem to have because you give them the opportunity to go out there in preseason and make a name for themselves. And what I really hope, they kind of switch it up. I really hope, like Coker and what's my man named Pinkney, like Coker and Pinkney,
yeah, Sam Pinckney.
maybe they give them some runs with the number twos, like like they switch it up some. You get what I'm saying? The further
Hmm.
down we go in this ranking of the wide receivers, like give them some time with some different quarterbacks. Like I don't want to see them, in garbage time every game or only out there with the number threes. It's especially like Coker, as much hype has been around him. Like, get him out there and let him see what he can do with some other, like let him run a series with Andy or something. I mean, hell, I wouldn't be mad at preseason. Let him run a series with Bryce. And I know that's not gonna happen, but that's just
Right.
me being me and thinking. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
But I
but
definitely, I definitely think we're going to get an opportunity to see a lot of these undrafted rookies, especially wide receivers, a lot during preseason. I don't think you're going to see a lot of Deontay Johnson. You're not going to see a lot of XL. You're not going to see a
mm,
lot of Adam Thielen. You're going to see some Jonathan Mingo because, like last year, like we said, last year was definitely underwhelming. He has a lot of things to work on. TMJ also has a lot of things to work on. He's still fighting for a spot because I believe this is the last year of his contract. So he need every opportunity to show and tell, whether it's in preseason or the regular season. So I think for him, it's going to start in the preseason. And sad to say, we definitely won't get a chance to see Jalen Coker or Sam Pinckney playing with Bryce Young in the preseason. Now, whoever the number three quarterback, more than likely that's who you're going to see them attempting to catch passes from because Jack Plummer ain't it. I'm just saying, hey, I'm just keeping it 100. You know what I'm saying?
no,
I'm
no,
just keeping it 100.
I'm
What?
Hey, let me tell you. Oh, so hold on. Okay, I'm sorry. Nicard said, I wonder if there any rules about that third QB spot, the one that gets to dress but doesn't count at a spot. Can we put a wide receiver there and designate him the Wildcat QB? You know what? Yeah, you do have an emergency quarterback now. You do have an emergency quarterback
Yes.
that doesn't count against the game day roster. And if both starting quarterbacks go out, that's the only way they can play. But if one of those, the one or two quarterbacks come back in the game, they have to immediately come out. But yo, let me tell you, hey, roll master, roll
Oh, I
master,
see it.
dog,
I see it.
dog, dog, bro. Hey, roll master. Hey, let me tell you, man. Hey, send us an email. Two fans in the stands at gmail.com. Hey, let me tell you, when I say that's a hell of an idea right there, I'm gonna get some of them printed. I'm gonna send you one, man. Tell me what size you want. Boy, hey, look, hey, two Tepper
Except for
two cup
two cup.
shirts.
Oh my God.
Yo, oh my
Yeah,
God.
y'all tickets a training camp gonna get revoked.
Hey, boy,
They,
let me tell
y'all gonna
you.
get up there trying to scan y'all ticket. They gonna be like decline, decline.
Hey, can you imagine us up there with a shirt and we're in the stands on some two cups?
God. Oh my God.
Yo, hey, thank you, Roll Master. I appreciate that. That's a damn good idea, man. I'm going to make that happen. I appreciate
Oh
that. Is
God.
funny. That is hilarious. Let me see Nicard Taysom Hill taking his job. What we talking about
Keeping
there?
his job.
Well,
Keeping his job.
keeping his job. Oh, my bad. I read that all wrong. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Let me see. Remember, it said Plummer will at least throw it downfield. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you know
Yeah.
what though? I think even in preseason, I think we're going to see. the offense opening up just a little bit. Okay, and now mind
Hmm.
you, everybody doesn't show their hand, in preseason, but I do think we're going to see a little bit more out of this group than we saw last year and probably in previous seasons. All right, but let's go ahead and move on here, and we are
Oh,
going to
what's
go.
that comment that Doug got up? He said something about the joint practice. What you disagree with, Doug? I don't think I said anything about the joint practice. Hey, but I just sent you the invite too, Doug. So if you want to hop in, feel free.
All right. Yeah, you might have to give me a second. Like I said, I messed up. I messed up all my scenes, so I might have to switch it over to the other one there. Okay. All right. So let me see here. Let's move on to the next group with the Panthers. All right. We got the tight ends. Okay.
All right.
Now, I don't think there's going to be too much of a disagreement here as far as the ranking. Right now. All right. Trimble one, Tavion Sanders two, Ian Thomas three. Okay. Now this is a spot where I really wish they would keep three tight ends and just go ahead and use that extra roster spot somewhere else. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna keep four. And I didn't add Steven Sullivan to this picture, but he is tight end number four. Um, Now I do like this tight end group, okay, especially with Trumbull and Jatavion Sanders. Trumbull, since he's been drafted, I think he's gotten a lot better as a pass
Right.
catcher. He was touted as a good blocker coming out of Notre Dame. I think his pass catching skills have gotten better since he's been with the Panthers. Sanders, yeah, look at the tape. Okay, he's just
Right.
he's one pass away from a big play. Okay, he could get better as a blocker, but I don't think Dave Canales is going to ask him to be that power, blocking tight end. I think that might be one of the few reasons why we keep Ian Thomas around, even though I keep hearing that they're really impressed with him so far in OTAs leading up to training camp. So who
Who's
knows?
that? Ian to my Ian Thomas?
Ian Thomas. I saw an article, I think it was yesterday, and they said he's been one of the surprises, so far OTAs, and the
Mm.
coaching staff really is really liking what he's doing. So you know, what you think, Tony?
Yeah, I like the tight end room. We have been saying for years that they need to add a true pass catching tight end to the roster. Now, uh, Tommy Trimble is developing into a pass catching tight end. It's great that he has the blocking ability that he does have, and everything now seems to be catching up to that. But Jatavion Sanders gives you that vertical stretch down the seam, over the middle of the field, tight end that we haven't had since Greg Olson. So I can't wait to see some 12 personnel, with him and Tommy Trimmer both on the field at the same time. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's going to be a good problem to have, a bad problem for opposing defenses. But
Exactly.
you know how I feel on Ian Thomas. He's like obsolete to
Ian
me.
who?
Uh, Ian Thomas. Yeah, Ian who exactly 336. Yeah. Steven Sullivan, I think he has shown flashes here and there of his capabilities. He hasn't been consistent, and I don't think that's all his fault. I just think it's because of where he has been on the depth chart and having his availability limited due to the other tight ends that they put forth before him. But I would like to see him get a little bit more playing time because really honestly and truly he has been the only deep threat wide receiver that we've had the past couple of years, and he's just showing you those flashes and very spot duty that when he does get opportunity.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Now, let me see. 336 Boston said I go with Tommy, Sanders, and Sullivan. I would too. I would
Yeah, I
too. But
would
like I
too.
said, I don't. As much as we give Ian Thomas hell,
Mm,
I don't think he's not making the team this year. I think he's going to be on the team. But we'll see. But they more than likely they'll keep four tight ends. So we're
yeah.
probably going to have Trimble, Sanders, Thomas, and Sullivan. And
I,
oh, and I was gonna say he also said Bryce and Sullivan had a little connection on the low. Hey, let me tell you, he did catch a
yeah,
few nice passes from Bryce last season.
yeah,
Yep.
he did.
Go
But
ahead,
I was
Tony.
gonna say, man, I just realized the way that Nakari feels about Eddie P is how I feel about Ian Thomas. So I got to tip my hat to him and be like, hey, the struggle is real. I don't know what we can do to get rid of that dude, man. But hey, he just need to move on, man. We just need to move on from Ian Thomas. Dave Canales needs to stop telling those lies. Because anything positive he said about Ian Thomas, I do not believe it. I won't believe it. You have to make a believe out of
Tony
me.
said. Tony said, "I don't believe. I won't believe it."
Yeah.
That is hilarious. Okay,
Like
so
like
now
Mike
that is
Singletary say,
the
can't win with him.
crazy.
Didn't do it.
Correct. All right. Okay. So that was the Panthers tight end room and wide receiver room. Okay. So we spent a little bit more time on our people because this is our team. This is who we watch. This is who we pay attention to every day. So I'm going to bring up the rest of the tight end and wide receiver groups in NFC South. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on them, but we'll just kind of real quick get our thoughts on them, and then we can
Okay.
go ahead and move on from there.
Are we ranking
All
them?
right. Yeah, we're gonna rank them at the end. We're gonna rank them at the
Okay.
end. Okay. All right. The Atlanta Falcons. Okay. You have Drake London, Darnell Mooney, and Rondale Moore. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Drake London, good wide receiver. I think the interesting thing here for me is I always, when I thought about Kirk Cousins, I was like, oh, well, he had Justin Jefferson. He had Stephon Diggs. He had Adam Thielen. But even in his time in Washington, he didn't have a star-studded wide receiver core or tight end room. And Kirk Cousins was still out there balling, throwing for 4,000 yards a season. Okay, so
True.
I think this group will be interesting. For the Falcons. Okay, I think Drake London is going to continue. He had like 900 yards last year. He'll probably eclipse 1,000 this year. Rondell Moore, he's always been one, and I tell you, I always end up picking him on my damn fantasy team, and then he always disappoints. Okay, so we're gonna see what he gonna do this year. I think he'll be like that, the slot receiver, for Kirk Cousins. Darnell Mooney's coming over from Chicago, solid pickup. Think he'll be their number two. But what you think, Tony?
Yeah, I think Atlanta has a decent wide receiver core. I think the thing that has hindered Drake London in his time thus far in Atlanta is that he hasn't had a true number one quarterback throwing him the ball. He hasn't had anybody dependable at the quarterback position in Atlanta. So not only has it affected Drake London, but also it has affected Kyle Pitts as well. So hopefully, like you said, with Kirk Cousin, he's healthy. He comes back, doesn't skip a beat. He can be that type of wide receiver that take full advantage of having a wide receiver like Drake London. Darnell Mooney is a good pickup. I just know that with the additions that Chicago made throughout free agency and the draft, that he was more than likely going to be the odd man out. Rondell
Mm,
Moore has definitely been a disappointment since he came out of Purdue. I don't know if you
yeah,
ever watched any games that he's played. I'm not talking about just highlights. I'm talking about actual games. I watched games that this kid played, and man, good God, y'all talk about Tariq Cohen, the human joystick from A&T.
Mm-hmm.
Rondell Moore, man, that his game was on a whole nother level. So it was easy to see or think that it was going to translate to the NFL, especially with his speed and his kick return, his kickoff and punt return ability. But he just haven't matched the skills that he had when he was at Purdue, when he was in college. So, but he has the potential. And you can't say he didn't have a good quarterback throw him to him because he had Kyler Murray. Now Kyler Murray
Mm.
did miss a year because he tore his ACL, but he did have Kyler Murray for some of the time that he's been in Arizona. But hopefully these guys get opportunity and step it up with Kirk Cousins as the quarterback.
Okay. All right. Bet. And let me see here. All right, we're gonna go on to the Falcons tight end room here. And y'all give me a second. Tony, you go ahead, tell me what you think. But right here we have Kyle Pitts, let me see, Kyle Pitts, Charlie Warner, and John Fitzpatrick. Those are the three tight ends. But I'm gonna try and get Doug on the scene real quick. So go ahead with your thoughts and let me work on this real fast.
Well, okay, well, this one ain't gonna take long because I don't know who Charlie Warner is or Fitzpatrick. But the Cal the Cal Pitts, man, I was a fan of Cal Pitts coming out of Florida because he was that big body wide receivers tight end hybrid. Ran the 4.38 40 at the combine. Think he's like 6'6", 245, something like that. And I'll never forget the game when we played him and we had Stephon Gilmore and Gilly locked him down the whole
Mm,
game. He had wherever Kyle Pitts went that game, Gilly went with him, whether it was in the slot, on the outside, or what have you. He was with him the whole game, man. And I was like, this is crazy. Like, this is 6'1", 190 shutting down a 6'6", 250-pound wide receiver and then Gilly got an interception on top of that. You know what I mean? So,
mm.
like I said, the same thing with Drake London. You could say for Kyle Pitts, they just haven't had a competent quarterback to get them the ball. So now, hopefully, I know Atlanta fans are hoping they're going to see better production from Kyle Pitts and Drake London for the fact that they have Kirk Cousins as their quarterback.
Okay. All right. Cool. And I do apologize, y'all, if y'all seen C Dougie's picture pop up way across the screen. I'm doing some editing on the fly. All right. And Doug, what's going on?
What's going on,
See,
man?
Doug,
Can
what's
y'all hear me?
happening, man?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Nah,
What's going on, Tony?
man, I can't call it. What's good with you?
Man, chilling, man. Just doing some house cleaning today. I'm gonna
Hey.
make this point. I'm gonna make this point about Cal Pitts. If I'm not
Mm,
mistaken, Carolina Panthers are very high on Cal Pitts. If
They
what we
were.
know what Cal Pitts has done with tight ends, I'm gonna even go back a little bit when he was with Washington with Logan Thomas. We've seen what he was able to do with T.J. Hawkinson. This should be a match made in heaven for Cal Pitts. Cal Pitts should have no more questions about him. He has a quarterback that loves the tight end, just like, if I'm not mistaken, Cal Pitts was there for Matt Ryan for 1 year, correct?
I think so. Yes, I
Yes,
think so.
yes,
So,
Yeah.
yes. I think
so
Drake London was a rookie.
okay.
No, no, Cal Pitts
Kyle
was a
Pitts was a
rookie.
rookie.
Drake
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's what
London
I meant.
came the next year.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
said Cal Pitts, and I think the thing for Cal
Okay.
Pitts
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
is he really should have had a great year with Matt Ryan in his rookie year, but we saw the ceiling, but it wasn't too high. And then you go with the next quarterbacks that they've had there with the Marcus Mariota, with a Desmond Ritter. Cal Pitts really has not lived up to the height that he was supposed to be the next generational tight end, like a Travis Kelsey, like a Gronk. So I think if
Hmm.
he does not develop this year, or is at least a top 10 tight end this year, I really think they need to let him walk. I think a person that's
Hmm.
gonna really hurt that offense. I think am I saying his name? Juna Smith that went to
Oh,
Miami was a better
John New Smith. Yeah,
Johnu
John New
Mm-hmm.
Smith.
Smith.
Johnu Smith was a better tight end for the Atlanta Falcons that people didn't give the respect that he deserved outside of Cal Pitts. But I think
I
a lot.
agree.
I think a lot is really a weight on Kirk Cousins' shoulder. They think they have the weapons. We'll see what they have. I know we're talking about wide receivers and tight ends. I do know a weapon that they do have in B.J. Robinson, but outside of that, there's really nothing that really scares me with their weapons. I was afraid of Kyle Pitts, but he hasn't shown us anything since he's been in the NFC South. Can they possibly
Fact.
be a day and night type of offense with the addition of Kirk Cousins? It's just a wait and type C deal for me.
Okay.
I agree with you, Doug. I agree. I agree with everything you just said.
All right. Bet. All right. So that is the Falcons tight end and wide receiver room. All right. So let's go ahead and move on here and let's get to New Orleans. The New Orleans Saints. Okay. So you got Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, and the newest addition, Wilson. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting his first name. Cedric Wilson.
Cedric Wilson.
Yeah, Cedric Wilson. Okay. Now you recognize what he played with the Dolphins last year, but he did have a couple promising seasons with the Cowboys before that.
Cowboys. Yeah.
With the Cowboys,
Yeah.
okay. I really thought they were going to keep him, but they decided to let him walk. Rashid Shaheed last year, let me tell you, there was a lot of times where
Oh,
hey, that brother was just making plays. He was just flat out making plays, and it was like plays turned into touchdowns. Um, Chris Olave, not much I can say about Chris Olave. I mean, he's just he's a I give him credit. He's a good wide receiver. He's got hands. He definitely made C.J. Henderson look it looked terrible against us last year. And it was funny because I was like, yo, CJ made a good play, good position. Man, that joker reached out there with one hand, was like, nah, not so fast, homie. I still got this ball. Okay. But
hmm,
I want to say was what's my man that was Michael Thomas.
Michael
He's not there
Thomas.
anymore, is he?
No, he's a free agent.
Okay.
He's still a free agent.
All right. And he was hurt most of last year, right?
Correct.
Okay. So this wide receiver group here. Now you got Derek Carr as the quarterback. I will say this: they don't really, outside of Olave and Shaid, don't really jump off the screen at me too much. I think that I think they're decent. Okay, but
Right.
yeah, go ahead, Tony. I would say it's yeah. Let me get your thoughts.
Um. Yeah. Hey, I like Chris Olave. I like Chris Olave coming out of Ohio State. Very smooth. Excellent route runner. Great hands.
Hmm.
Um. The I think with Derek Carr being in New Orleans, he does have a dependable, capable quarterback that can get him the ball. That was evident last year. Rashid Shaheed, I think I said that name. I think I said his name right. But he got that zoom speed. That's what I call it. Rashid Shaheed, he just fast, man. And he got that dog in him, starting from the bottom, getting it out the mud, and he's showing everybody, the type of wide receiver he's capable of. And I think that bodes well for the New Orleans Saints. Cedric Wilson, I was surprised. I didn't even know that he got picked up by New Orleans. I thought he was still in Miami. So I don't know. I don't know why Miami released him. I think maybe because they got OBJ, so you talking about with
Hmm
OBJ and Waddle and Tyreek Hill, it ain't much room, ain't that many balls that's left that's going to go around. But I think they got a dependable, capable wide receiver room. I don't is Mike Thomas still there?
No, no,
No,
he's a free agent.
That's okay. That's what I thought. So I'm guessing Chris Olave is going to be the wide receiver one,
Facts.
this year. Cedric Wilson probably step into the number two slot, but that depending. that's depending on how well he can pick up the playbook, because I know Raheem Shaheed has been in the offense for a couple of years now in New Orleans, so he kind of got a head start on him in that manner. But other than that, I mean, it's nothing. It's nothing that I would be scared of.
Man.
There's
Now,
nothing. There's nothing about
Hey,
that
can I?
pass offense to be scared of.
Tony made a point that I would give him, but is I don't, Tony. You know they got a new offensive coordinator, so everybody has to learn a new playbook,
Yeah,
right? So,
yeah, you're
I,
right. You're right. You're right.
so really and truly, and this is another take that I'm just probably being too biased of a Panther fan. I don't trust Derek Carr. I've seen Derek Carr both away and in New Orleans, and when I say them fans hate
Yeah,
that man, they really think they overpaid for that man.
yeah.
As much as we laugh at Tony with the crab hands, they were literally calling for Jameis. And if I'm not mistaken, one time they said, "Give us crab hands, Winston." Like the fans in
Dang.
my section, they were crying for Jameis Winston. And when I say
mm,
I really think I don't know who their backup now because I know Jameis Winston is not there anymore. But I really think he has a short leash. He has a short leash. It's an old roster. One thing that I'm not really worried about the New Orleans Saints, excuse me, I'm sorry. Um, they have a lot of injuries on offensive line this year. One thing that
Yeah,
Carolina had a problem with was offensive line. Again, I know we're talking about position groups, but when I'm looking at it, quarterback needs time to get to their wide receivers. One thing that Derek Carr fails and has trouble with is when pressure is attacking him, he goes in frantic mode. It goes back to whenever he played for the Raiders. Chris
facts.
Olave is a dog, but I will say I think Raheem Shaheed will be a better numbers guy than Chris Olave because of the attention that Chris Olave is going to receive this year. Another thing that we
Mm,
also have to remember with this new offensive coordinator is how much faith do they really have in Alvin Kamara?
mm,
What you call it? Sean Payton is not there anymore. Sean Payton made Alvin Kamara a workhorse. Um,
mm,
One thing that I do, and again, I'm really ready to see week one, is what's going to be different. We know the personnel and we play the personnel. The only thing that's different with this offense is that they have a new offensive coordinator. Like I said, almost the same thing that you said with Carolina. Carolina's not the same team on offense, but we do still have some of the same key players that we did have against New Orleans. Again, I think the problem for me is I do not trust Derek Carr. So yes, they can have all the weapons that they believe that they have, but Derek Carr is not the answer. He's really not. So if I would, I don't know if we're ranking them, but they don't scare me. They really don't. I would say the Atlanta Falcons scare me with the talent, even with the question marks that they have on the offensive side of the ball. Again, outside of Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed only had a breakout year this past year. Other than that, what do they have? You got a Taysom Hill, who's a trick pony. That if you figure him out, he's only going to be in there for about 15 plays. Other than that, they really don't have another weapon that you can possibly say that scares you on that offense.
but now they actually they drafted. No, I'm not saying they do have anybody scared, but interesting pickup. They drafted A.T. Perry from Wake
From
Forest.
Wake
Now that
Forest,
oh
was
he's a bit
yeah,
and
he's
now
a,
that
he's
yeah,
a bit body wide receiver.
yeah,
Yeah, we know
big body
ACC
wide
football.
receiver.
Yeah,
Yeah, big body wide receiver, red zone target, 50-50
yeah.
ball. They go up there and get it. And they do have Amon Ross St. Brown's brother. They picked up Equanimous St. Brown. Okay, I
From the
think he came
Bears.
from the Bears. Yes,
Yep.
yes, yes.
Okay.
So I think they got them as probably like their fourth and fifth wide receivers. But yeah, but it's funny when you talk about Derek Carr. Let me say, Raiders fans didn't want him,
They didn't.
and they didn't want him at all. And now he's down there in New Orleans, and it seems like he's he's going through the same thing again. He's going through the same thing again. But we shall see. But let me go ahead and move on here to their tight ends. All right. Okay. And for the Saints tight ends, you got Juwan Johnson, Foster Moreau, and Jesper Horsted. Now, ESPN actually has Taysom Hill ranked as their number two tight end. But for our little series right here, I'm just leaving Taysom Hill as a quarterback, and we're going to call it a day. I think Jonnu Smith had a good season last year, okay? For what they needed him to do. But as
Yeah,
far as everybody else on this list here, I do remember, God, I think Foster Moreau, he come over from Vegas. What when he on Vegas squad a few years back?
Who?
I
Let me see.
believe,
Foster Moreau. Hold on, let me
I
find
believe
Yes,
out.
so.
yes, yeah. I
Okay.
think that's the one that had the cancer scare. He had a cancer scare too.
Right,
Yes, he,
right.
he he was drafted by the Raiders. Okay.
Yes,
He
he
You know,
went
and
to
was.
he
UCLA, I believe.
Yeah, and he had a few decent seasons, but if I'm comparing this group to the Panthers tight end group, I'm gonna have to give the Panthers the edge on this one. But I think Jonnu Smith has stepped it up the last few seasons that he's been down there with New Orleans. Let me make sure I'm right and see exactly how long he has been down there. My apologies, y'all. Y'all give me 1 second.
Jonnu
Hey,
Smith was a
oh
beast,
Lord.
I'm
man, when
sorry,
he was in
Juwan Johnson.
Tennessee.
I'm sorry, Juwan Johnson, not Jonnu Smith. I'm sorry, my bad, everybody. My bad, my bad, my bad. Juwan Johnson. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been with New Orleans. Okay. Go ahead, Tony. Give me your thought. I'm sorry, y'all. Wrong person.
Yeah, I don't know much about any of these wide receivers. Like you said, Doug, Foster Moreau did have that health scare when he was in Las Vegas. I remember them drafting him because he had a great senior year, his last year at UCLA. But
Hmm.
Jawan Johnson had a game last year, if I'm not mistaken, against us that was pretty good. But yeah, they average. I mean, they tight end room is average. They're probably going to give you exactly what they're looking for. I don't think they expect any of these tight ends to have a stellar year or a standout type of year. That's going to bust on the scene. I think you're looking more at blocking tight ends that has the potential to catch as well. So again, average.
Okay. Duh.
Hey, let me go back. I just read a couple comments. I see my guy Red is in there. Red, I understand what you're saying. What I said is he has not had a quarterback that is a tight end quarterback friendly relationship since Matt Ryan. That's what I was saying. Since he's been there, he hasn't had a quarterback that loves throwing to the tight end. Now he has one with Kirk Cousins. Let's see what he can do going into his first year with Kirk Cousins as his quarterback. But talking about the Saints, they still have. Do they still have old grandfather Jimmy Graham? Is he still there?
Um. No, I don't believe Jimmy
I
Graham is
don't
still on the
believe
team.
so.
Okay. Okay.
Let me
Point for me,
see.
they don't
No.
scare me. Their tight ends don't
Okay.
scare me. Again, Chris Olave and um, Raheem Shaheed is the ones that scare me more than anybody on their team. You got speed and speed kills. Speed kills. Tony said it. Speed kills. So
Okay.
other than that, their tight end position don't really do anything for me or has a red flag. I would say Taysom Hill because they do line him up at the tight end. That's the only
Yeah.
thing because he is a wild card. So you do have to kind of you got to go back to that Tim Tebow type quarterback style for him. But other than that, I'm not too worried about it.
Okay. Facts. That's
Okay.
what's up. All right. Now let's go ahead and move on. Okay. Now this to me, if I'm gonna start my rankings in NFC South with wide receivers, I got to give it up to the Bucks first. Okay. You got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Trey Palmer at their top three. All right.
Yeah.
Mike Evans has had 1,000 yard receiving, 1,000 yard season his entire career. Okay. I think he's probably a lot
Every
for the
year.
Hall of Fame when he decides to hang it up. Chris Godwin, great route runner. He go up and get you the ball. Trey Palmer, I think he flourished a little bit last year in the Canales offense. Possession, third down, wide receiver. But for me, if I had to start with my rankings, this group right here right now would be number one. Tony, what you think?
I agree 1,000%. They Tampa Bay has, in my opinion, the best two wide receivers in the NFC South in Mike
Hmm.
Evans and Chris Godwin. Um, I think what Mike Evans has done in the NFC South and in the league in general is like almost like second to none. I mean, Mr. Reliable, Mr. Dependable, um, like you said, throw it up there and let him go get it. 6'5",
Hmm.
230, excellent route runner, create separation, got that dog in him. Chris Olave, I love the way that he's bounced back since tearing his ACL. Just like with anybody that tears ACL, it takes them a minute to get going, to get acclimated, get confidence get your confidence built back up. But I think later on in the season last year, you saw the type of receiver that he's always been. Tough, dependable, slot receiver, big body, make contested catches over the middle. Trey Palmer was someone that I had my eye on in the draft coming out of Nebraska, but the knock on him was he got excellent speed. He got 4.3 speed, but his hands, he had below average hands. So if that, I hope that was something that he worked on last year and got his
Hmm.
opportunities with Tampa Bay, and he continues to work on it. If so, he's definitely going to be a problem for a lot of teams, not only just the NFC South. So, but right now, hands down, Tampa Bay has the best wide receiver room in the NFC South.
Okay. Dub.
Ain't nothing really argue. On paper, they do
Hmm.
right now. I mean, they're the defending division champs. They didn't have a lot of
Yes, I am,
turnover.
dig it. My bad, Doug. I was just
Oh,
answering that question down there.
oh no, you good. I mean, really is like I said is I mean, defending division champs. They didn't have a lot of turnover in their room. They probably added to their room. Um, Godwin and Evans have been playing with each other for years, so they know they complement each other. Um, it's really nothing to really say. I mean, on paper right now, I will agree. Tampa Bay is number one right now.
Okay.
Think
All
the new
right.
OC in Tampa is Liam. I can't remember his full name. He was with the Rams last year. He was with the Rams when Carolina traded Baker Mayfield to Los Angeles. So they definitely have some familiarity with each other. I think Baker already
Hmm.
knows that system, that scheme. So that's important when you talk about teaching a new offense to the
Correct.
team, and it's an offense that your quarterback already knows. So
Correct.
Yeah.
that's like half the battle right there. But those two guys,
Liam
they
Cohen.
are not new to each. Yeah, Liam Cohen, they are not new to each other.
Correct.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, my
Now let's
bad,
go ahead
Diggy.
and
Appreciate it. Diggy said he was agreeing with me. I
we
thought,
got you.
yeah, my
All
bad,
right, let's
Diggy.
slide on to the tight ends here. You got Cade Otton and let me see, Cade Otton, Cole Keeft, and Payne Durham. Okay, outside of Cade Otton, not really worried about it. I think Cade Otton did have a decent year with Baker
Mm-hmm.
last year, and if I'm not mistaken, he had a pretty decent. Let me see, when did he come over there, or was he behind Gronk the year before?
Who?
Okay, he's yeah,
K.
past two
Otten?
seasons. Yeah, past he
Yeah,
was behind
past two
he
seasons.
was behind Gronk that year before. But
Yeah,
this
yeah.
yeah this group right here. Now, mind you, for what Dave Canales did with him last year, K. Dotton did have he had 455 yards and 4 touchdowns. My man number 41, Keith. I think he's more of your blocking tight end. When he gets in the game, but you know, like I said, if I had to rank our group against this one, we're definitely higher than the Bucks. All right, but Tony, what you think?
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, last year with what Dave Canales did with the tight ends, especially K. Otton was a good thing, and it gave you a glimpse of what we could potentially do with our tight ends. When you talk about Tommy Tremble and Jatavion Sanders and those guys, see how they operate in Dave Canales' system. Behind K. Otton, I don't know who these other two guys are. 87 look like baby Grunk, or is that Grunk? Is that Grunk in the picture?
Did I might have messed up and put Gronk in the picture. I'm sorry.
I'm, I'm like that look like
You
Grunk,
know what?
but
I might have messed up.
yeah, outside of K Otten, man, I'm not familiar at all with any other tight ends that they had. But like I just said, they were serviceable last year, and we just hope that our tight ends can be serviceable
Mhm.
for us in Dave Canales' system.
But no, but he does have the same numbers, Gronk. He is 87. So that picture
Okay,
might be accurate.
okay.
All
Hey,
right,
Candy
Doug,
girl.
what you think?
um, Nothing. Again, outside of Atlanta, I'm not really worried about a tight end.
Okay, I got you,
Dang.
Doug. I got you. I got you. All right. So what we're gonna do now? I'm gonna go ahead and we can give our rankings real quick. You know, as far as the wide receivers and the tight end rooms in the NFC South. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start it off now. Wide receivers. I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay. Okay. Tampa Bay, followed by us in Carolina. I'm gonna go with the Saints at number three and the Falcons at number four. And I know Red Swarm is gonna kill me for that. All right, but there's a lot of unknowns, not unknowns, but it's a lot to prove in Atlanta as far as the wide receiving groups, in my opinion. Okay, in my
Mm,
opinion, but I'm gonna put them last right now. I'm gonna go Tampa Bay, us, Saints, and the Falcons. Okay, and as far as the tight ends, I'm going to go us number one. All right. I know Atlanta has Kyle Pitts. Okay, but outside of Kyle Pitts, as a group, I think we have a better group. So I'm going to go us, Atlanta, New Orleans, and Tampa Bay. All right, and y'all guys give me
mm.
y'all rank.
Go ahead, Doug.
All right. So you want to go wide receiver first?
Yeah, go
CJ,
ahead.
wide
Yeah, go ahead.
receiver, it would be Tampa. And I know people are like, really, Doug? How can you do that? It'd be Tampa, then a tie between Carolina and Carolina and the Saints,
Hmm.
and then no, Carolina and Atlanta. I said it wrong. Carolina, Atlanta, and then number four would be the Saints. Tight end
Okay.
room, it would be Atlanta one, Carolina two, four would be no, three would be the Bucks, and four would be the Saints.
Mm,
Okay.
okay. For me, wide receivers, yeah, Tampa Bay one. I would say New Orleans two. I would say New Orleans two, Carolina three, Atlanta four. Tight ends, I would say us number one. Um, Believe it or not, I would have to say Tampa Bay number two because I think K. Otton was more productive last year than Kyle Pitts and the guys that are currently on the roster for New Orleans. So I would say Tampa Bay number two, Atlanta three, and New Orleans four when it comes to tight
Okay.
ends.
All right. Cool beans. Cool beans. Cool beans. Okay, I'm going to put us on another scene here, a dynamic scene. All right, Doug, can you still hear us? Yeah, we can hear you. Um,
Yeah.
Doug, you may not be the chat may not be able to hear you, but like I said, I messed my scenes up early, and I'm on my tablet, so I don't have my capabilities that I usually have. But I did want to get into something real quick with it with everybody, and well, actually, let me just go ahead and switch back to the other scene, and we'll just do it from there. Okay, make me go ahead and go back to this one. All right, and then I'll just go ahead and put our Panther players back on the screen. He said, "Did someone not pay the bill?" No, no. Let me tell you, it was. I messed up scheduling the stream, and for some reason, it pulled up. It pulled up way early in the morning, and I went to fix the scheduling, and I messed around and deleted all of our scenes. So I had to go,
Wow.
yeah, I had to go back and make up a couple scenes, you know, in like 20 minutes. So yeah, I do apologize for that, but I was trying to go back to the dynamic scene to get Doug on there. Lord have mercy,
And
y'all
Mr.
funny, but we
Hunky Dory said
appreciate
he put something on it. He got
you. Well,
he got
ain't too
$2 on it.
late. Oh my God. Okay, we appreciate you, Mr. Hunky
Oh,
Door, as always. $2 for a
oh
power
my
bill.
God.
That is hilarious. That is hilarious. Okay.
Oh.
But yeah, so I'm gonna just go back and do this one here. All right, but one more thing I did want to discuss. All right. There was a
Hmm.
lot of talk about Dave Canales' comments about Bryce Young, you know, in his leadership role and him
Oh
not being
Lord.
a vocal leader. Okay, and I just want to say this, and I'm gonna be done with it. There are a lot of levels to leadership. Okay, and the thing that I keep hearing thrown around, if you're not a born leader, you know, if it ain't in you, it's got to be in you when you're born. You know, you're born to be a leader. Okay, I just wanted to say from my perspective, I was not a born leader. Okay, when I was in a leadership role in my last job, I had to learn how to be a leader. Okay, and me learning how to be a good leader, I had to figure out people, you know, what they like, what they dislike. I think if you know people think about quarterback being a leader, you know, he's out there getting in people's faces and doing this and doing that. And my thing is this too. And one thing I've learned, you can have some people that you work with, okay? And this is Bryce's job, and these are technically his coworkers. You know, or you just say Bryce is the supervisor. He had people to work for. Everybody doesn't take well to somebody screaming and hollering in their face. Okay,
Facts.
football or not, football or not, everybody got different attitudes. Everybody takes things differently. Everybody feels, you know, differently about how somebody comes at them. Okay, and I just think that, you know, this is another thing where people have kind of gone off the rails with this as well. You know, he's not going to be a vocal leader. You know, what the hell is going on? He got to be a vocal leader. He the quarterback. Yes. Okay. I do agree that there are going to be times out there on the field when Bryce is going to have to be like, hey, come on, guys, we need to get this together. We need to do this, and this. Okay. But I think people are taking this and they're taking it way too far with Canales' comments, okay, and it's just like, oh no, he's not going to be a leader, you know, blah 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 blah. But that was just my whole spiel with that one. That I was thinking about that all day yesterday, and like I said, I think there's different levels to leadership, and leadership is not always, you know, somebody who's out there just yelling and screaming and hollering at somebody and telling them this and that. Tony, Doug.
I got nothing. Go, Doug.
I totally agree. Like I said, I don't. Excuse me. I don't want to repeat because my brother Quan, we did it over at his show. We talked about it, and I'll just throw some names out there. Peyton Manning, he wasn't a leader year one. Tom Brady, he was not a leader year one. Drew Brees at the San Diego Chargers was not a leader day one. Um, you can develop into a leadership. And again, one point that I didn't think that CJ just brought up is everybody. doesn't do well with yelling or into their face. I hope Tony can allude to this. In the military, you have to deal with it, but sometimes you got to swallow your pride when somebody's in your face and yelling at you. And that's one thing I had to understand. You can yell, you can do all that. Sometimes I'll laugh in your face, but when you put your hands on me, it's two different things. But leaders can be developed, and leadership is different leaders. You have quiet leaders. You have leaders that go by example. You have leaders that are flamboyant or loud. And that's what Cam Newton was. And like the point that I made, a lot of people want Bryce probably to be like Cam Newton. Cam Newton was a
Mm,
generational talent that had juice coming out of college, coming out of Auburn. He was just like that at Blaine whenever he was at junior college. Everything that Cam was, he already showed at every level from JUCO to SEC to the NFL. He did not change. Why would you want Bryce Young to change the leadership skills and talents that he had from when he was in California to the University of Alabama to now being a Carolina Panthers starting quarterback? I think the young man is going to do well being a leader, his own type of leader. He is a leader because if you hear what the players say, regardless of what Dave Canales said, when you have a Tommy Tremble, you have an Adam Thielen doing interviews, and they say Bryce is taking more on a vocal role this offseason, that's all I need to hear. Like I said, you're not a rookie anymore. You can't sit in the back of the classroom and just be quiet. They need to hear your impact. They need to hear the impact from you and the input from you. So, like I said, I'm not worried about it. And I'll leave it at that. I'm not
mm.
worried about it at all.
Hey,
I just have one quick question. Did we not see at the beginning of OTAs and during OTAs Bryce gathering the team together
Thank you.
and speaking to the team
Thank
before and
you.
after practice? I mean, we all see the clips that are put out, whether it's by Carolina Blitz or Carolina Vibe or whatever. I know if I saw it, there's a whole lot of other people that saw it as well. So yeah, yeah, I'm gonna leave that right there.
hey,
Tell Red to stop trolling. Tell Red to stop
yeah,
trolling before he get
we,
so before he get that head skint. He need to stop trolling.
hey, look, we gonna call him Blue Swan from now on when he come over there. Hey, but Biggie had a question: can you be quiet and still be an alpha? Okay, I think it depends. Okay, I think it depends. There are a lot of people, and I'm going outside of football here. Okay, there are a lot of people out there who are in a role and don't have to say two words to get a whole lot of things done. Okay, because the people know them and respect them, and they know it's like, oh, but in the same sense, okay, there has been something at some point that that person has done where the people are like, oh crap, okay, well, we know to go ahead and get in line because we know if we don't, this is going to happen. But some people are not, are not vocal, but they can, they can exude that alpha role per se, but not have to say a lot to get it done. If that makes any sense, okay. I've seen it before in my short life. You know, it might be different for somebody else. You may not have seen it, but yeah, I think you can be mild mannered, you can be quiet and still be a alpha on the team. Okay, but that's just my opinion. I know a lot of people probably going to disagree with that, and I think Roadmaster already has. He said hell no. Oh man, let me see, Mr. Clean Kraus. He could. Uh oh.
Oh damn!
It said Red Swarm Mercedes-Benz Stadium and the bluffs behind the stadium. Oh my goodness. Okay,
Hey,
that is
but you know
hilarious.
what? Quan said what games I can go back and see. I don't remember the exact game, but there were times last year where you did see Bryce Young on the sideline talking to the
Oh, okay.
offensive line. I don't know whether he was getting on them or hyping
Tennessee,
them up or whatever. But there was a few games where Bryce was over talking to the offensive line and the rest of the offensive team, the offensive side of the ball, getting those guys up, you know, even though he was getting his head bashed in, game was going well or whatnot, he was doing some of those things that people are saying that he wasn't doing. He was actually doing it last year.
Okay. All right. Bet. Well, like I said, y'all,
Yeah.
we'll be short live today, and I appreciate everybody stopping by. Doug, I appreciate you, big dog. Anything you
Yes,
want to say
sir.
before we get up out of here?
No, sir. Like I said, just stay tuned. That's all I gotta say. Stay tuned.
Gotcha. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. All right. Now let me switch back over here. This scene, it's just me and Tony right here. All right, cuz, got anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Yeah, before we do get out of here, I do want to just say one thing. Hey, a lot of you guys reached out to us via email, messenger, whatnot, and was, concerned and voiced your opinion how the live went the other day. And we just want to say that we read it, we heard it, and we promise that we're going to do everything that we can on our end to make sure that doesn't happen again, because you guys have been rocking with us from day one. We try to create a different energy or a certain type of energy here at Two Fans in the Stands. And basically, I just refuse to allow anybody to come on and ruin that. Not only the experience for us, but for you guys as our subscribers, our followers, and our day one. So, just wanted to point that out. We read the comments, we got the emails, we got the messengers, and I promise you that won't happen again. Go ahead, CJ.
All right, facts, facts. Yeah, we appreciate everybody. And again, everybody that's been rocking with us you through the whole live, thank you. Thank you for sticking with me throughout my technical difficulties that I've been having today. Me deleting everything and having to redo everything in about 20 minutes. I appreciate y'all sticking with us. I think it was a good topic, and like I said, going forward, we're going to get over to the defensive side of the ball. We're going to talk about the D line, the linebackers, cornerbacks and safeties as well, as far as it goes, ranking them in the NFC South. Okay.
Yes,
And as
sir.
always, if you're new, please hit that subscribe button, like the channel, like the live, help us out with the YouTube algorithm. You can catch us at all social media at Two Fans in the Stands, and on what we like to call Twix. That's a mixture of Twitter and X. You can find us at Two Fans ITS. Okay. And as always, y'all, I'm gonna take y'all out with three things. Number one, y'all be good. Number two, y'all be safe. And number three, as always, Panther Nation and Blue Swarm. All right, we're gonna add Blue Swarm to Panthers Nation. But number three, hey, keep pounding, y'all. Thank you, and we'll see you.